Think revenge is what we should be focused on right now?
I gotta focus on this. This is something I gotta handle.
You know what Dru is tonight. Anybody sees him or loses him, that's a target on their back too. You got it?
Let's get them to turn against one another.
Dru and Diana gotta go.
Relax for a bitch that got a target on the back of her head right now.
Do it!
Please.
One episode left till the explosive mid-season finale. That's the caption in the trailer for Power Book 2 Go's Season 4, Episode 4. It's going to be an episode where Cane, Monet, and Tariq are on the hunt. Dru and Diana have got huge targets on their backs after the secret was revealed, and no doubt, it's also going to set up Cane versus Dru. But, as we all know in typical Power fashion, always expect a twist, which is where I think Diana's pregnancy will definitely come in. So, I do feel like a lot of these characters will have some big decisions to make. Now, eyes are of course on what happens with Dru and Diana, but let's not forget, Detective Carter is also on the hunt. But in this breakdown, we're going to run through the official trailer, and as usual, I will be looking at a few extra scenes from the official trailer and a specific teaser that teases a huge battle between Cane and Dru in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4. Now, the title for Episode 4 is The Reckoning, and the synopsis reads, Dru and Diana are on the run, Tariq and Monet are on the hunt. Monet must decide between the path to revenge and the path to forgiveness. Meanwhile, no mind lists Cane's help of making an ally of a powerful player. Now, in terms of The Reckoning, I think this episode title is pretty self-explanatory. It's a moment of judgment, confrontation, retribution, and revenge. We've got two characters who have committed a huge betrayal against their own family, which in Cane's eyes will be seen as an unforgivable act. But when they're caught, the question is, will they get what they deserve? You have to think at least one would, or at least should get what they deserve. But I'm not too sure either will, at least not in Episode 4. They want us to look in the direction of Dru and Diana, so should we be looking somewhere else? Perhaps Tasha? And I will come back to this point in just a second. Now, we've got Brayden asking Tariq, is revenge something they should really be focusing on at this moment in time? And it is a valid question. It's always good to have a partner who questions your decision making, challenges your thought process, and makes you see the picture or chess moves that you don't necessarily see. It's all about perception, and also making the right moves at the right time. But I think we all know Tariq. 403 was a classic example of him not caring about what Brayden thinks, or what he's going through in his own personal life. Tariq's always going to do what he's going to do, which is find Diana and Dru. The main reason why he wants to get to them is because he also has secrets to protect. Let's not forget, Dru and Diana might have been behind the betrayal in terms of leaking Tasha's location to Kay Egan, but you would have to assume Monet would still be asking questions around who pulled the trigger, which of course was Tasha. Now, only two people actually know the truth, Tariq and Tasha herself. Not even Dru and Diana know, but you would have to assume Monet will want to know and get revenge. So, just like Monet had this conversation with Tariq, which did reveal, Kay Egan was given Tasha's location by Monet, so she said, if Monet was to have a conversation with Diana and she asks her, who helped you, or who did you go to, if she says Tariq, then I'm sure it's a straight line shot to Tasha. Monet will connect the dots. It also takes us back to this conversation between Tariq and Tasha. I do think the warning signs were there when Tariq warned her, do not come back to New York, or with Detective Carter saying she's about to be bounced out of WITSEC, you just feel Tasha is going to come back, and I really don't believe it's going to end well. So, Tariq will want to make sure all loose ends are tied up, because like he said in 403,
Dru, Noma, Cane. All of these motherfuckers, they have to get it.
Now, one place we are going to see Tariq go is to Salim's. Whether that's where he finds her hiding, who knows, but he will definitely catch up to her.
Look real relaxed for a bitch that got a target on the back of her head right now.
Now, with Diana in the same dress as she was in the dinner scene, most of what we see in the trailer, or at least the first half of Episode 4, does seem like it is from the same night. But, as Tariq catches up to Diana, as he puts the gun towards her, I think we all know what's coming. Please Tariq, I'm pregnant, or something along those lines. This is the only thing that saves Diana from the wrath of everybody who's gunning for her. It's the only thing that saves her. And on Diana being pregnant, Tariq's world really is about to be turned upside down. Because I don't think either of them are ready to raise a baby, especially in the world they're currently in. We've all seen how Tasha and Ghost struggled. We've seen something similar in raising Kanan with Rock and Kanan. In more recent times, there's Noma and Anya Covington. And Monet's flashbacks have also given us a lot more food for thought. The slogan for this season may be father like son, but there definitely is a lot of mother like daughter parallels in Season 4. And raising a kid, mixing them in this world, as hard as you try not to, is pretty inevitable, and it also won't end well. So, let's see what happens when Diana drops the I'm pregnant line, because I'm definitely expecting it. Now, on the other side of the hunt, we've got Cane telling Monet that Dru and Diana have to go, along with Cane putting the wheels in motion in the streets. But this is where I feel like Monet will be very conflicted in the way she wants to tackle this particular situation. she told Zeke in her hallucination she wanted a second chance, but since then, she really hasn't changed her ways or even apologized. Instead, she actually tried to justify her actions, which was the problem. Diana, and in particular Dru, aren't happy with her actions. Like they say, actions speak louder than words, although she did finally change her tune at the end of 403 when it was too late. So, I do think Monet will be very conflicted. Jeanette might even be the one who opens Monet's mind to forgiveness instead of revenge, because I'm sure she won't want to see this family tear themselves apart more than they already are. So, she might be someone who puts forgiveness in the back of Monet's mind, which, I do think when it comes down to it, Monet will eventually choose forgiveness. I personally think she will. There is a scene from a teaser where we've got Dru and Monet in conversation, where Dru screams, "What family?" which I'm not too sure is from episode 4, this scene might actually be from episode 5, but you would have to assume that she might have actually chosen the path of forgiveness rather than revenge. On the other hand, we've got Cane saying, "Dru and Diana gotta go. Family or not, they betrayed you. They set you up to basically get taken out, and like I said in my breakdown for 402, a leopard never changes his spots. They went behind your back, Cane's back, Tariq's back, and then there's also Dru who twice attempted to get rid of Monet in 401 and 402. Of course, we can always look at the other perspective of what Monet's done, how she was wrong, how she taught her kids to lie, and so on. But Dru and Diana, one of them definitely have to go. So at some point in episode 4, we are going to see Monet and Cane on the hunt, where it seems like they go to this motel, where Dru and Diana might be hiding. We're going to see them on the run, and where Cane actually pulled the trigger this time. At the end of 403, we saw him chase Dru and Diana, where he did stop short in pulling the trigger, but I think he knows, this betrayal simply can't go unanswered.
You keep pushing for Dru to take the throne, but he can't be trusted.
He is still your brother.
You always gonna be your mama's boy.
So Cane is in charge now all of a sudden.
All this shit is now.
Now I also think it's finally poised for Cane versus Dru. They've been setting this up since season 1, and gradually building the storyline, but now is the moment where we're really going to see them go at it. We've got Dru with a gun to Cane, saying pull the trigger, and even though I do think we all know Dru won't, it's going to be a really interesting battle. I don't think Dru will go down easy. A lot of us are expecting him to bite the dust, but I wouldn't even be surprised if it is Diana at some point in season 4. But definitely expect a twist. I think Diana revealing that she's pregnant will definitely change the game. But in regards to Cane versus Dru, I think we all know there can only be one winner. Now elsewhere in the trailer, we've also got Cane and Nomar at an event. Nomar needs help of making an ally of a powerful player. Who that could be, who knows. If you're at an event like this, could they be in law enforcement, or could they even have political power? Not every ally you have has to be in the game or in the streets. Sometimes you need someone in a suit. Sometimes you just need someone who has different types of connections, or can be a different kind of help. But we also know from history, just because you've got a man in a suit, doesn't mean they're not in the game either. So, let's see who this new player is Nomar's trying to make an ally of. I'm hoping it's someone different, because I do believe we are kind of missing the Simon Stern factor, or a powerful figure like RSJ. Now we'll also be seeing Cane leaving this event, which might be when he gets the call Dru and Diana have been found. But it's always difficult to tell with these trailers. As I mentioned before, they are designed in a way to throw us down the wrong direction. Now we've also got Detective Carter who says, let's get them to turn against one another. So, it seems like Tate has managed to work his way onto the task force. Carter said in 403 he's got way too many personal ties, but I think that's exactly what he needs. He needs people who are motivated, law enforcement officers that can't be bought. He needs someone who's connected to Rashad Tate, who is then connected to Tariq St. Patrick. So, there may be a bit of a hidden agenda in bringing Tate on board onto the task force, and that might actually be a way of bringing Rashad Tate back into the storyline. But on Carter's point about turning them against each other, some of you may actually remember, I once mentioned, if Brayden and Tariq could actually just sit back, if they had time to wait, this organization would self-destruct, because they would have all betrayed each other eventually, and that's when the right time would have been to strike. And Carter's thinking very similar. Let them turn on one another, let them create this opening, let them create a weak spot that they can target, because when that happens, that's when they're going to be at their most vulnerable. So, let's see what other games Carter plays with this drug network, because he is proven to be a very different proposition. It's like he enjoys the chase. Any challenge that's put to him, he's happy to take it head on and push the boundaries. He isn't afraid to play games with Obi. He doesn't care about jurisdictions. He's someone that will do whatever it takes, and he is going to go one step further. Now elsewhere, as Tariq's focused on revenge, and where he says this is something he has to handle, it might mean leaving Brayden in charge of the business, which I don't think is such a good idea, especially because he's got his first taste of powder. so that's just one to watch. We all know at some point Tariq will have a decision to make because of Brayden's new reckless lifestyle, which will leave Tariq questioning whether there is room for two at the top. So there's definitely going to be a lot of testing times ahead, that's for sure. But that's a breakdown of the trailer for episode 4, an episode which will be all about judgment, confrontation, retribution, and revenge. It's also an episode which I'm sure Diana's pregnancy will be revealed, which is the only thing I can see saving her. But can we say the same about Dru? So drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.